Born here. I was actually born in Jamaica. My parents moved when I was 2, so I came to the U.S. So I'm pretty Americanized. And I guess my first, engagement with Islam, I guess, has been the media, I guess, right? Like, I mean, I've heard of like Malcolm X, I've heard of Muhammad Ali, and that kind of stuff, but that was basically it. So around maybe around 8th graders, I can't remember what the time, but my dad actually received a copy of the Quran. He had a friend that was in Blackwater. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like a mercenary group that out of they go to like different countries in the Middle East. I don't know, that's a whole different story entirely. But at any rate, my dad asked him to bring back a copy of the Quran, and the reason why is because my dad, he doesn't know much about Islam either, but in his mind is like, man, if these people are killing themselves over this book, I'd want to know more about it. So he brought the book over, and then I remember the first time, I really had no concept of Islam. So I remember the first time he brought a book, and it's like nice and shiny. It was the Yusuf Ali version, and I remember opening it, and then it was like one of the first passages I read. It was like something about like slay them, and I'm like, oh, look at this, are you serious? And I actually started laughing, and after that, I never really touched it again. So then now I'm in college now, and before I went to college, I started reading the Torah, because to me, I've always kind of wanted a framework of how I want to live my life. And so I started reading the Torah, the Old Testament, whatever you want to call it. And then, so I read that before I went to college. Then during college, I kind of was just like having a rough time. And then I remember I had the Quran, and I was looking for a framework. Like, I started to kind of look at like Eastern cultures. I was looking to like Asian cultures, and just like trying to find like a framework how to live my life, how to like kind of, in a sense, like achieve my potential. Because like, even when I was younger, like in high school, you start to get exposed to like different ideas, and you start to realize that like you can kind of rationalize anything, if that makes sense. You can kind of rationalize any action. So I was kind of looking for a framework to be a good person and to kind of achieve my potential. And so I found the Quran. Well, I got that version of the Quran. I started reading it, and I started to like kind of embrace Islam. I started to read like stuff on the internet about it. And then an Egyptian buddy of mine started taking me to the masjid out in Palmyra. And so from there, I started to kind of learn how to like make salat and how to to basically follow the deen. I started to fast. And then, the funny thing is, between all that time, like I never like really, I started to get more and more into Islam, but I never like sat up and in front of like a group or up until that point and said like, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. I never did that with, like I never took official shahada. So it was up until like now, it's been years and years, and then when was it? Like last December, I was speaking to a brother about like basically my journey towards Islam, and then he was like, you should do that because it's like, it makes it official. So I did that. In last December, and then that's basically been my journey. So I spoke to Brother Muhammad, wherever he is. I talked to him, and he kind of said, "Hey, I want you to kind of tell your experience." So it's basically my experience in the gist.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any questions? Or?
Your family?
Oh, so none of my family is Muslim, but they haven't really made it any really difficult for me. I mean, they're kind of, for the most part, they've been pretty cool about it.
Do you actually feel the thing that you were missing earlier now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that this is the right path, this is the truth, and I definitely feel that I definitely feel that this is what I was missing. I was missing like a framework of how to live my life and how to like go about this. I think a lot of Americans, it's like, you don't really know, you're just living. You kind of don't know, I look at the way I was before, and it's like, I didn't really know how to really live my life. I mean, sure, you have like, you can use your logic and find like, what to do, what's right and what's wrong, but this is what I needed. Yeah.
Did you follow anything before?
So, my mom was Seventh-day Adventist, and my dad has always kind of like been interested in religion. So like, he even brought us to like a synagogue before, but so I've always kind of grew up, I guess, around religion. I mean, my mom was Seventh-day Adventist, went to church, but yeah.
So you weren't satisfied with that? Why were you looking?
No, and also I guess, yeah, no, and I mean honestly, like there's certain things with Christianity which I mean I'm sure you guys know, like in terms of like the Trinity and stuff that just doesn't make sense, you know. Plus, you see a lot of like hypocrisy and other stuff in people that it makes you look outward. It makes you look for something else, and you know, I came across this path.
Have you spoken with your parents about the framework that you found that helping you guide
You know,
your life?
I haven't really spoken to my parents like in detail about them converting just as yet. You know, I kind of, inshallah, in time.
Inshallah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, assalamu alaikum, bro. We met the Revert.
yeah, conference. Yeah, hopefully, inshallah, you can come to the one of the get-togethers soon. But so my question was, you know, you said you were looking for a framework and you found it in Islam. So, when you were reading the Quran, what were some specific things that you know jumped out at you and you said, wow, this is like a lot better than what I've been taught, or you know,
So
what I've been living.
the Quran, even just the way you look at life, like the Quran's like the world. This is just an illusion. This is just a game. You know, like it. So you know, you don't. A lot of times, like you don't know how to even just view life. You know, you take certain things so seriously when you know they don't. You know, they don't need to be taken seriously, or then just in terms of just your deen, like you start to to pray 5 times a day, to eat a certain way, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
What has been your biggest challenges?
Biggest challenges. I mean, I guess I'd say Salat. You know, you try to make the 5 prayers. You know, especially in the working schedule. Also, I guess like I said, I'm a bit of an introvert, so I guess even this is just meeting people and just yeah. I guess that's about it. I guess Salat and just biggest challenge. Yeah. I guess that's it. I mean, you know, I'm always trying to get better. Oh, and I guess Arabic, of course. Like I'm trying to, you know, learn Arabic.
The rest of us.
Hey, assalamu alaikum, bro.
I didn't know all the time that we met in the past years, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you didn't actually say Shahada, but
Yeah.
you're trained to Arabic.
Yeah. You know, because I was actually at one point I was at ICOB and Imam Atif, I think he eventually went down to North Carolina, and I remember explaining to him because like there's something I was kind of lacking. Like I guess anytime somebody asked me my story, it's always like I had to explain it. You know, I never had like when you take shot, I guess it makes it like official, like certified. So I was telling him that, and yeah, he's like, you know, as long as you take it in your heart, you know, and you said it. I mean, of course, I've even called Adhan, so like I've said it, but like in terms of just having the ceremony where you say it from the witnesses. And, so, yeah.
But my question is actually, do you feel any different?
Oh, do I feel any different after taking Shahada?
Yeah, officially.
I mean, I guess yeah, in a way, because I mean, like now it's like you have to like that stamp. Like I get, you know, I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know if that's psychological. Yeah, I guess.
Spiritually, do you feel any different?
Spiritually.
More confident.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So how long have you been practicing Islam?
Oh, so you know, it's been around like age 19. Like I started like telling like friends, and then like around, you know, let's say 20, I was making salat, and you know, like my parents would see me, you know. So then I basically, I told them, you know, I'm Muslim now and all that stuff. But you know, I was fasting during Ramadan. It's like the whole 9. It was, I guess that was the. Well, I guess I haven't gone to Hajj, so that was the other pillar that was missing.
So now that you meet a lot of Muslims, what advice do you have for us from, you know, when you look at Muslims from an outsider point of view,
Yeah.
at least at some point in your life?
Yeah.
What advice would you have for us? How can we be better?
That's a good question. I would say.
What issues you feel that we have?
Challenges, basically.
Yeah, you know, I would say to reach out to Converse. I'd say to reach out to Converse more, you know, because it's, you know, being a Revert is very weird, like, situation to be in, because like you kind of don't fit into like the new like family or new place that you're in now, and then you kind of don't fit into that other, because like your friends now have different interests from you. You know, they're going to the club, they're doing this, they're doing that, and you don't do that stuff anymore. So you don't have that interest, and you also at the same time you kind of like, you know, there's a new culture, everything is just different, you know, like, so I guess to kind of reach out to the newcomers more and to kind of like grab them, because it's a very funny place to be in.
So you mentioned that when you became Muslim or 19 years old, you told your friends that you're a Muslim now. Mm-hmm. So how did you actually kept yourself away from the things that you were used to doing with your friends, and then moved to segment yourself away from all of those that you had all the friends behind? How did you leave them behind? How did you feel about it, or what was the challenge about it?
Yeah, I think gradually I just kind of just stopped, like, you know, well, so I had one friend that was, he was Christian, but his dad was Pakistani, his mother was Cuban, so like, you know, he kind of understood, but yes, for some, like, slowly kind of just drift away from them.
Just leave them behind and start new friends, kind of new life in a way.
Brother Hamza.
Yes, brother, I was just a little bit curious. How did you learn to pray to make a salah?
Oh, okay, so YouTube. YouTube, yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah. And I mean, then now also, like, when you're praying too, you can kind of observe other people. But yeah, YouTube primarily. I mean, the internet is a huge resource, and I guess that will be another, to the brother's answer, that will be another thing too. I mean, I think there should be more emphasis on, like, I guess almost like PR, but also just help, and you can use the internet as a resource for converse, because that's where people go. Like for me, I said before, I'm an introvert, so like a lot of stuff I was finding through internet, and I still do. I still read, or you can find Duo, or, you know, and I mean, you guys know too, like you probably have Muslim Pro on your phone, you use that as to find, you know, so I'd say the internet is a major place.
So, what are some of the things that you would tell new Muslims as far as, you know, they're starting their journey? What are some of the things that you would tell them to do, not to do?
Okay, so don't do what I did. Definitely take Shahada early, because like it definitely is it definitely, you feel more certified when you like do that. Although, I mean, like I said, find somebody that can like kind of guide you in the right way, so that you can do it right way, as opposed to kind of just like, you know, I'm always kind of like that. I'm in my own zone. I kind of, like I said, I'm an introvert, so it kind of just, I follow my own path. But I would say to be an easier path was just to do the way it's instructed to do, you know, and to to find a brother or find more than one people. I'd say, and you know, also to go to different masjids, because I've noticed that different ones have like a different vibe. Like you can come to MCMC, it has a different vibe than ICOB, it has a different vibe than ICEB, and like don't just judge the Muslim community based on one masjid. You go to different ones and see, you know, take something from everywhere.
So what do you love the most about Islam?
Yeah, like I said, I guess the framework, the way to live my life. You know, and if I make a mistake, I can, you know, ask for forgiveness, and actually, you know, I remember a brother was mentioning the other day, you can actually become a better person from the mistakes you made if you're sincere and you know.
So currently, what do you do as far as work?
Oh, so I'm a park ranger. As a matter of fact, if you take Holes Lane, I guess the back exit, take that straight down until you can't go anymore. There's going to be an office, so that's our headquarters. Yeah. So I should be there at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Ethnically, you told me you're from Jamaica, right?
Yeah, so I was born there, but I left when I was 2. As a matter of fact, this morning I dropped my dad to the airport, so he's
going back?
Yeah. Studying like a fool.
I was going to ask you if you...
And you're Guyanese, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
if you went to the Caribbean, if you visited Jamaica.
Yeah, I went the day before. The year before last, I believe, my grandfather's funeral, and then I went another year on vacation, like by myself.
You met Muslims there?
Yeah, I did. I went to Masjid. Yeah, there's a little growing community there in Jamaica. Ocean Reef, there's a mosque.
So did you get a chance to study Rastafarianism or even touch upon it?
No, but I think, in a way, I think it's funny you should mention that. I think that's why Jamaica, I think they scored in like one of the most talented, one of the most tolerant places for religion in the world. And I think because of the experience we had at Rastafarianism, because when they first came on the scene, like they were kind of like abused and like, people kind of like treated them poorly. So, and I think my dad has like a experience with people going to, finding new religions. So that kind of made everybody more open-minded to other people seeking religion.
All right. If you find like, are you single or are you married?
Yeah, I'm single right now.
But if you're looking forward to have a family.
Yeah, of course, inshallah. I think right now I'm like focused on like trying to make money and then afterwards, inshallah, look for a wife.
God bless you.
So what is one request you would have from this community, if you could put it boldly?